How are you guys doing on this beautiful Tuesday? I'm doing good. I have my essential oils going, and it's also a humidifier. Yeah, it's kind of chilly where I'm at, Mississippi. Yeah, kind of chilly, kind of dry. So I want to talk about a few things here for a little bit. Um, Justin Timberlake. Have y'all heard about him? What he's been up to? What he's getting himself into? It's really, it's very telling on how no matter who they are, celebrities like to try and get favoritism, special treatment. But that is probably going to be anybody who feel like they have earned some prestige. Some hey, I'm Justin Timberlake. You know. So we're going to go over that. We're also going to go over two more stories, okay? Now, one of them is about an assault that happened at a senior living center, and it is egregious, okay? But the daughter of the woman who is the victim, I think she took great precautions, and she also, she's standing up for her mother. And I commend her for doing that, because it's not always easy. But it's also not always easy to, trust that they'll be safe, anywhere when they're outside of your care. So, this is a very serious event that happened, and we're going to go over that, okay? We're also going to touch base with the story of the OnlyFans model. Y'all remember Courtney, all right, who eliminated her boyfriend? She was an OnlyFans model. I believe this was like 4 years ago, but you can't not remember this. Um, I'm trying to think about the words I'm going to use because it's funny how court channels and other channels, news channels can use whatever words they want, but when it comes to us, we have penalties for using certain words. So she used a KNIFE and you know, poked it in him a few times, right? And she had BLOOD all over her. We saw that in the video. We saw that on the news, when they arrested her. And she was, I think, in the garage. And I believe she tried to say it was an accident at first. Then she tried to say, he was abusive to her. But come to find out, there's not only just footage, multiple occasions of footages of her actually being very abusive to him that was shown from around their complex. There was also testimony from neighbors, I believe from that day also, and from other occasions where they talked about how she always was yelling at him, beating on him, stuff like that. Mhm. But he is a African guy. His name is kind of hard to pronounce, but he was dating her, and she is a white girl. Okay, OnlyFans model, and they lived together, but they had a very drama-filled relationship. And so now that they're going, they have chosen charges on her that I believe aren't sufficient, right? And we're going to talk about those charges. But I'm curious if it's possible that they can upgrade those charges. And if they are looking to upgrade those charges, y'all hit the like. It's 6 watching and no likes. Come on. So right now they're having like preliminary hearings, and they just released one. It's very good. Very interesting and very informative, regardless. And it gives you insight because I think a lot of people kind of skip over preliminary hearings and just get right to the trial or right to the verdict. But they had this via webcam, and they really were going back and forth over evidences that they could possibly have access to. Okay. And when you hear the charges they gave her, you remember this story, it's like, are you serious? Is that all she got? But mind you, I don't think she initially was going to get charges. However, this is the case where most women, hi Sandra, most black women were saying, listen, he's on his own. We're not advocating for him. We're not protesting, marching, anything for him. That is his preference. Um, this was mainly said because of the junk he was talking about black women on his social media, mainly his Twitter. He said some very not nice things. Now, he uplifted his girlfriend, which who do we not want to uplift their girlfriend, right? But it was him putting down black women and doing the comparison thing. He had a lot of negative to say about black women and why, he don't want them. So, that was very unnecessary. And it just showed, black women that, hey, okay, he can't stand us and he choose to talk about us negatively. Well, that's who he chose, and look what happened. He's being abused per footage and witnesses, you know, um, and she deleted him. Very violently. So, I'm glad this case is getting underway. I'm interested in seeing what the outcome is going to be. So, I'm following the case, and we're going to go over one of those preliminary hearings. So, for those who are here who clearly have not hit the like button because the like button hasn't moved, I was going to ask which one you want to start with. I'm saving the OnlyFans girlfriend case for last because it's the longest. Um, But do you guys want to start with the senior living situation, or you want to start with Justin Timberlake? You know what? I think I'm gonna start with Justin because the last two stories are kind of deep. They're deep and they're heavy. So let's start with something that's like a non-violent situation, and it's just kind of sad above anything else. And I don't know, maybe even comical, but I don't think anything is funny about what he did. So I'm gonna play some of this footage here. Of course, we're gonna get a commercial first, right? So, okay, so let me tell you what I'm getting ready to play. What I'm getting ready to play is body cam footage of Justin being arrested recently, like a couple of days ago, or look, you know what? It was released a couple of days ago. Let me check and see because usually when they release these on their body cam channels, because somebody decided, hey, this can get us views and money. So departments started this thing where all the counties and stuff, they have all their own channels, and they eventually release body cam footage of mainly celebrities. Now they do of civilians too, because those cases be wild too, but they do of celebrities. And a lot of times we didn't even know that this situation occurred until we saw the body cam thing pop up. So I don't recall hearing about this about Justin, but as it says here, it was the Sag Harbor Police Department. And this was in June 2024. Now, he was said to be veering across the road and running stop signs, and he was in the Hamptons. He was not alone either. And he was saying, I'm on a world tour. Now, when the officer, who it seemed like he didn't recognize who he was, so that's what it seemed like. He was like, what do you mean a world tour? he couldn't explain that. Now, you've been doing this your whole life since you were a child, and you can't explain to the officer what you mean by saying you're on a world tour. So he just eventually said, I'm Justin Timberlake. And so the officer, maybe he was looking rough because he was like, You're Justin Timberlake? And he's like, Yeah, I'm Justin Timberlake. He's like, Do you have any ID on you? Because he was driving, okay? So veering off the road and all that kind of stuff, right? So he was told to get out and do a sobriety test, which he didn't expect. You can tell. Okay. He thought once he said he's Justin Timberlake, then he was gonna be like, "Hey, can I get an autograph?" And hey, just go home and be safe. But that did not happen. Now it says here the star's lawyers had previously sued to prevent the release of this particular video, and claiming that it would cause severe and irreparable harm to his reputation, but later conceded that it did not constitute invasion of privacy under the New York Public Information Law. Now, all the situation is public information, but usually people keep it hush for them, and we tend to not find out about a lot of stuff that they do. Because, yes, they are bad, they do get in trouble, probably more than we do, because they get out of a lot of things. So he ended up getting a misdemeanor charge, and it was brought down to a non criminal traffic violation after he agreed to record an anti-drunk driving PSA. And I think it's terrible because he indeed was driving drunk. And if any one of us were doing that, um, try saying, hey, I'll record an anti drunk driving PSA if you just knock this down, and let's not. Because a drunk driving offense can seriously harm you in life. And it could definitely harm your freedom as far as driving. Your driving privileges are going to be affected. And you're going to have a lot of money to pay. And they knocked this down for him, which is absolutely insane. Should not be a thing because it wouldn't happen for nobody else. It would not, unless you were somebody of prestige, power, popularity, and stuff like that. But you still are a drunk driver. So you still are presenting the same risk for the public as any other drunk driver could. You see them like, so that's insane. Okay, it's not like you littered. It's drunk driving. So this is what happened. So he wanted to fight against this, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people would if you could, because you don't want people to know you did this. Then don't do it. Don't do it. It's like Clarissa the other day talking about Maserati Bud released a video of her hosting an event at a stripper joint. And she was like, she's basically saying it's not a good look for her image. So she didn't post it, and she was upset because he somehow filmed it, got footage of it or whatever, and he posted it. And it's like, it's a whole event, so many people could have got the footage. Why would you host it if you feel like it's not a good look for your image? You're hosting an event. It wasn't a private party, it was an event. So that could be shown to people, right? Yeah. So that was just weird. Okay. So why did my light go out? It's back on now. All right, so let's start with Justin. Let's see what else they said here. The star's lawyer, okay, previously sued. I said that. So he pled guilty to impaired driving. Oh, he was impaired, all right. Probably more than just alcohol, because I mean, if you can't even tell the officer what a tour is, yeah, he was out his mind. He was. And he was sentenced to a $500 fine. Some people who would get caught drinking and driving would probably pray for just a $500 fine. I believe it will be more than that. I've never gotten one, so I don't know. I think that states are different, but $500 now for drunk driving, I don't think so. Then you got court costs, and you got classes you may need to take or whatever. And possibly suspension and using your not losing your license, maybe having a blow, go on what you call it, probation, where you pay every month. I mean, they really hit you for that. So he had 25 hours of community service and a 90-day suspension of his license. I'm glad they suspended his license. 90 days. I doubt this is the first time, but however, it's first time it's going on record. So I don't know. Maybe 90 days is kind of fair. I don't know. I just don't. I don't know what the regular, for regular people, what it would be. So that would be the comparison for me. So they said a misdemeanor charge was brought down to a non-criminal traffic violation after the singer agreed to record an anti-drug driving PSA. Now I believe with traffic stops, if you can do no low stuff like that, but if it is drunk driving, there is no plea down or nothing you can do. I'm not absolutely sure on that, but I believe that's the case. This preference, this treatment is just crazy. So it says the Independent is the world's most free thinking. Okay, that's the name of the channel, is it? Or is it just, yeah, it's the Independent. So I guess that is relevant to the city of, where is this in New York? The Hamptons. The Hamptons. So it's Sag Harbor, the city. All right. So the Independent is where they put their body cam footage. And let's get past this commercial and get started with Justin. Um,
Veering off to the left, and then you're not stopping at the stop signs.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
This is your vehicle? Whose vehicle is it?
Yeah, it's just a rental.
It's a rental? Okay.
mm,
Any registration with it? Do you know if they put it in the glove box? How long are you renting it for?
Just for a couple of days.
What are you visiting?
Yeah, I'm on tour.
What are you doing?
I'm on a world tour.
Oh, what?
A world tour.
Doing?
Hard to explain.
I'm sorry. I gotta pause this.
Uh,
I'm sorry. Excuse me. It's hard to explain what you do. Anybody can explain what Justin Timberlake does. He does look kind of. I mean, Justin is Justin. He's not a woman, so it's not him without makeup and without wigs. It's just he got a little scruffy beard, and he has on a like a Kango, I think. But it just he looks a little worn down. He don't look like he would look in a video. Of course, they're made up in videos, but I don't know. Maybe the guy isn't into that kind of music that much. Because if you say world tour and you kind of look like Justin, I'm gonna be like, "Are you Justin Timberlake?" I, but he can't even. You know, he's out of his mind. It's hard to explain what you do, Justin. What have you done? What were you taking? Shame, shame. And they knocked this down, bro. I don't know if the judge looked at any of the tape. I would need to see the, oh, he refused the test. So I don't even think they tested him. I just think this is careless because it puts everybody in danger. Not he could travel the world. Okay, this is Justin Timberlake, so he can go anywhere and try this crap again. So it's really about safety. Do we care about safety or we don't care about safety? But I gotta rewind this just a little bit because, bro, he asks you, what do you do? And you're like, it's hard to explain. Okay, let me explain what Justin Timberlake does. He sings, he dances. Am I right, y'all? He sings, he dances. Cry me a river, cry me. Okay, he has some good mashups. Justin Timberlake, 50 Cent, Ayo Technology, love it. She want it. Um, uh, yeah. You just take the blade right out my heart and watch me bleed. I can't even remember right now, and I love that song. And I still don't know why I love you so much. That was a jam right there. And you play this game. He sang the mess out of that. He got a lot of hits. He got a lot of collabs, lot of collabs over the years. But we know the story about this crew, and we end up finding out that at the end of the day, because I wasn't a fan of theirs when they were a group, I wasn't into that kind of stuff. But ended up finding out that Justin wasn't even the best singer in the group. He wasn't the one that, a lot of fans felt like should have made it. But he was the chosen one. Okay, so here it is. But Justin tried to keep a good guy image and everything. But people remember he heard Britney Spears. Mm. So here he is, Justin
Yeah,
Timberlake.
I'm on tour.
What are you doing?
I'm on a world tour.
Gosh, I did that. I don't have a case on it, so it's easy for me to touch the screen on accident.
On a world tour.
Oh, what?
A world tour.
Doing what?
Hard to explain. A world tour.
Singing.
Justin Timberlake.
What's your name?
Justin Timberlake.
You are Justin Timberlake?
Yeah.
You have a license with you?
Yeah, I do.
Does he look that bad, y'all? He said, "You are Justin Timberlake?" And then he was like, let me see your license. Whoa. I mean, it's a glare from the officer. We're going to see him more in a minute when he gets out and everything. Uh, he said, "You are Justin Timberlake?" He like, "Stop playing with me. Come on. How old is this officer?" He knows Justin Timberlake, right? He said, I don't know. Maybe it's also because you're sitting here acting like you can't tell me what you do. So you just making up something because people told you look like Justin Timberlake. So I can get it from that aspect. As, bro, what are you on?
And then when we do this, just like you're doing right now,
Okay.
arms, feet together, arms by your side. You're doing it just now. I'm just going to re-explain it before we continue. Arms by your side, feet together, and then you're going to keep your head straight and just keep your head straight. Only follow with your eyes, okay?
Okay.
You understand that?
Right. Yes, sir.
If you're making less than 200 grand a year, you're in the wrong industry. You have to be in tech. Specifically, you have to.
Justin.
Okay. Okay, so left foot on the line. Left foot on the line first. And then you're going to put your right foot in front of your left, stay just like that. Okay?
Like you were dancing or something.
Heel to toe. Okay. For your left foot on the line, yep. You're going to have your right foot in front of your left, heel to toe.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to put our left foot on the line first. Put your right foot in front of your left, heel to toe. And you can stay just like that, okay? Okay.
That was his left foot.
So it's going to be
That was his left foot. Yes, he's facing us. That's it. That was his left foot. He put his left foot in front of his right foot. So he did not fail. Then he had to think about it, like right, left, like, and he still used the wrong foot. And he's like stumbling. Some people have bad balance, but Justin is a dancer. Okay, like him and Brittany was like the baddest, right? He can balance. He can put one foot in front of the other, walk straight line better than probably most of us. Justin, this is okay. Hold on. We're talking about the Justin Timberlake. Let's not underplay Justin Timberlake. He underplaying himself right here. But this is Justin Timberlake. He is out. He is high as heck in this video. I don't care what nobody say. Dude is super high.
Small of 9 heel to toe steps. I will demonstrate this like you're doing right now, like this. 1, 2, 3, all the way up to 9, followed by a series of small steps around. 1, 2, 3, all the way up to 9 back. This is going to be heel to toe, so you're going to be clicking your heels as you're going, arms by your side. While you're doing this, you're going to look down your toes.
Guys, I'm just following my friends back to my house. I'm not doing anything. I'm just following my friends back to my house.
Will you do these tests?
Sure. And then just walk. I'm sorry.
Here, ready?
I'm a little nervous.
Left, right foot in front. You're gonna look down. Ready? 1, 2,
Okay.
3.
Gotcha.
Oh, that other officer said, "Forget all this, Mr. Timberlake. Ain't nobody playing with you. I 1 foot in front of the other. Let's go. Because why you trying to talk yourself out of it? Bro, he's telling you to do the test. You clearly can't do it. And you can't even think of a way to even try to get out of it. Just tell him you're drunk, tell him you're high. Just confess, because that's what we looking at right now. Like, dang, this is sad. He was driving though. That's the point. Do what you want to do. You're an adult, right? Get high, whatever. Why you gotta be out here driving? No one couldn't drive. Responsible is having a sober person to drive for you. Someone who can get anybody to drive for him. Someone with an NDA signed that he don't even have to worry about it. Justin Timberlake. And he's out here driving. And if you can't even tell the officer who you are, explain what you do, you can't even think of to formulate sentences, how are we supposed to believe that you can operate this vehicle to your destination without hurting somebody? He pulled him over because he was swerving. He couldn't stay in the lane. The officer probably saved somebody's life that night, and they gave him a slap, a reduction, because he's a celebrity. Insane.
Like that, okay? Hang on. Let him tell you when to go. Let him tell you when to go. He's got time to start, okay?
Sorry.
No, you're good. Don't worry about it.
Sorry.
No, I want to make sure. Really make sure you do this right.
Right foot in front of your left.
Is this my line?
Perfect, yep.
Whatever your line you make, that's the line you're gonna walk.
1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000, 4 1,000.
Remember, just continue. Yep.
What comes after 4?
Sorry. 1 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000, 4 1,000, 5 1,000.
Good job.
You want me to keep going?
Yep. Yeah. That's how I tell you stop. Yep.
You're like, I don't know my numbers. I was in Disney.
1 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000, 4 1,000, 5 1,000.
Alright, that's all good.
Man, no. I would have made him go past 4, 5. Because he barely made it to 5. Bro, you would have had to go to 10. Okay, if this was me. I need you to go all the way to 10. Sir, I need to see you. I don't even think he knows what comes after 5. Justin is out of his mind high.
On a world tour.
Oh, what?
A world tour.
Doing what?
Hard to explain. A world tour. I'm Justin Timberlake.
Bro,
What's your name?
that part, ain't gonna lie, is kind of hilarious, but it's really sad. Okay, because why are you driving though, Justin? Jeez Louise. Okay, fast forward back to his test.
Okay. So left foot on the line. Put your left foot on the line. Yep. You're gonna have your right foot in front of your left, heel to toe.
Here.
Okay, so we're gonna put our left foot on the line first. Put your right foot in front of your left, heel to toe. And you can stay just like that, okay?
Okay.
Okay. So this is gonna be a series of small of 9 heel to toe steps. I will demonstrate this like you're doing right now. Like this. 1, 2, 3, all the way up to 9. Followed by a series of small steps around. 1, 2, 3, all the way up to 9 back. This is going to be heel to toe, so you're going to be clicking your heels as you're going, arms by your side. While you're doing this, you're going to look down at your toes.
Guys, I'm just following my friends back to my house. I'm not doing anything. I'm just following my friends back to my house.
Will you do these tests?
Sure. And then just walk. I'm sorry.
Here. Ready?
I'm a little nervous.
Left. Right foot in front. You're gonna look down. Ready? 1, 2,
Okay.
3,
Got you.
4. Like that, okay? Hang on. Let him tell you when to go. Let him tell you when to go. He's got time to start, okay?
Sorry.
No, you're good. Don't worry about it.
Sorry.
No, I want to make sure. We want to make sure you do this right.
Right foot in front of your left.
Is this my line?
Perfect, yep.
Whatever line you make, that's the line you're gonna walk.
1,000, 2,000, 3, 1,000, 4, 1,000.
Remember, just
Dang. You know, this is just sad. It's really, really sad. But it's worse because they gave him a slap on the wrist versus what he was supposed to get and what everybody else would get. And it's, for me, not just about him getting privilege. It's, look at how intoxicated he is. I don't know. I don't know if it's drinking, drugs, a combination of both. They didn't do the test. They knocked his charge down. They took it, all off. And then he tried to fight it even being put on the channel or released to the public in any way. Because he's Justin Timberlake. He didn't want the public to know. To know that you just this great. Every one of your fans have family members out here on the road. Wherever he could be, this could be a habit for him. He could be involved with a people that he know, and they all do this. This is endangering the lives of actual people. This is not cool, Justin. And we like Justin. We like all his music, everything. We've always, a lot of y'all had a crush on him, didn't you? Yes, you did. Well, some people don't like him after, Brittany. They just never forgave him. But this is just disappointing. That they let him get away with it.
Just continue, yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Right, gotcha. Sorry. 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, 4, 1,000, 5, 1,000. You want me to keep going?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, yeah.
He said to 9.
Until I tell you to stop, yep.
Okay. 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, 4, 1,000, 5, 1,000.
Alright, that's all good.
I mean, you failed because he said go to 9.
These are like really hard tests.
So the way this device works, you just put your lips over it and you blow up.
It's a hard test. It's so hard to walk a line, putting your foot one in front of the other, and you are Justin Timberlake. Boy, I can't even dance like Justin. You see my skin? I can't dance like Justin. And you telling me he can't walk a line, putting your foot in front of the other? Do you know what dance classes are like for them? His whole life he been dancing. It's a really hard test. Boy, he could barely count to 5. They let him loose with a slap on the wrist. What are the odds that he will do this again? Very high.
So like you're blowing a balloon? No?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright.
No blow test.
Alright, at this point, based upon the observations, the arrest for suspicion of driving while intoxicated. So whatever you do, let's turn around.
Come on, man. Like, I'm just calling my friends home.
Alright, just turn around for me, please.
I can't believe a judge watched this and reduce his charges and let him go. I'm just going to my friend's house. It's instead of saying, oh man, I don't want to get arrested, but hey, I shouldn't have been driving. I shouldn't have been driving. I could hurt somebody. Clearly, if you think that I am intoxicated enough to arrest me, then my judgment was off. So I have to look at your judgment, looking at me and testing me, and say, whoa, I must really be but worse off than I thought. If you're at this age and you cannot gauge your intoxication levels to say, okay, I can't do this, I can't do that, then you should not be getting impaired. Okay, you should not. Because I don't drink or smoke, right? But I used to, okay? And first of all, I never wanted to be drunk, but I can tell if I am too tipsy to say go out. Okay, because I don't want to be tipsy out in with my nobody. So I'll stay home. If I'm too tipsy for anybody to come over, I don't trust any of that, right? So if you are drinking and you get to a point where people say, you know what you did last night? Don't do it no more because it's not for you. You should be able to gauge. Yeah, I'm kind of past that point. You should be able to gauge if you're okay to even walk down the street, like anything. For him to be that gone and to excuse it and say, "Hey, I'm just going to my friend's house," even after you get caught by an officer, those are the things that a person who is impaired will tell themselves, and they will get behind the wheel, and they hurt somebody. I know a guy. I met a guy. I watched him clearly have a drinking problem, right? And I said, I, you have a drinking problem, right? And he's like, no, I like to drink sometimes. I'm like, it's early in the morning and you are drinking. Okay. And then he's drinking and driving. And then when we got to the location where we were going to and everybody's getting out, he has the bottle in his hand and we see him get out of his car with the bottle. So apparently you were drinking and driving. While you were driving, you were drinking. And you have an open bottle. Okay, so you're not even caring, right? And then you get out and you're carrying the bottle as if it's a water bottle and you're drinking it and you're walking to the destination where we're all going. Sir, can you put that bottle away? Why? That's bad. That's real bad. Then when we go to our place of business, this was just the other day, I was at the place of business. This person is like a good at least 5 feet away from me. I smell nothing but, he smelled like a drunk person had been living on the streets, and he is the manager at that place. So everybody else smells him. And that this problem has been going on for a while. Now, the type of place where he works, it's not really any heavy machinery or anything like that, but an impaired person, first of all, shouldn't be anyone's manager. I feel sorry for the employees because they got to smell it and they got to deal with it, right? And he's the type of drunk that clearly gets agitated. I don't know him that well to know what else he might do, but it clearly gets very, very agitated and then make it seem like you pissed him off. Like, you're agitated because you're a drunkard. Like, you got spirits in you controlling you. Listen. But it's like, how have they not dealt with this by now? Luckily, it's like a store. So, other than probably him getting into it with somebody, I don't think that there's a risk, but that's a risk enough. Or the employees being treated unfairly, or because people don't have good judgment. Even a functioning drunkard is a functioning drunkard. You're still drunk. So I'm just like, this is a very serious habit that people have. That's not the first time I'm talking about like recent years that I've encountered someone that is so bad with it. They have to have it all the time, and you can clearly see and smell it on them, and they expect to participate in things as if what they're doing is just normal as what everybody else is doing. So it's like everybody's enabling this. Now with Justin, this is not good because, he is out his damn mind right now. He should not be operating a car. And for him to just be like, I'm just going down the street, like, let me go and everything. No, they can't do that. That's insane.
Just turn around for me, please. take you right on.
Hello. Thank you.
9 7 3/4, 132, 192.
But at this point,
I know my hair sucks here, but like I
you're
usually
good.
look at.
So at this point, he's coming with us. Okay.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
No, why?
He's arrested for intoxicated.
Stop it.
DWI. Yes.
No way.
Yes.
Don't say it.
Why?
He's coming out with us. Okay. So you look like you're okay to drive. Okay. I don't see any. Your eyes look perfectly fine. Your speech isn't slurred.
You're
So if
you're
you're
arresting your right now.
yeah.
Stop it.
Yes.
Why?
You're trying to be drunk.
Okay, alright.
You're arresting Justin Timberlake right now? No, stop it. Why? And you think that she's okay to drive? She just asked you why are you arresting the guy that she is riding with, who she knows is super intoxicated. And you telling her she's okay to drive? He probably just didn't want to do it. Like, but that's a problem. You should have checked her too. She asking you why are you arresting him? Because he's the Justin Timberlake. Bro, he is zooted, okay? Jeez.
He's trying to be drunk.
Okay, alright, just take a seat.
The only thing standing between Americans and a wide open border is President Trump and our great Republican patriots in Congress.
President Trump and
He's trying to be drunk.
Okay, alright, just take a seat. Right now, he's under arrest
Under arrest.
for general intoxication.
Stop it. Justin Timberlake's under arrest. Can you help me, please? Can we do anything? Can you please stop it? I'll do anything.
No, it's what it is at this point, okay?
You can't like put him in jail.
He's gonna be held for the night.
I
And then
can't take him home.
He's arraigned
No.
for the morning.
There has to be a moment of talking.
No. Not anymore.
Please help me.
Not anymore.
Hold on.
Okay.
Hold on. Can I?
This registration on the vehicle, just make sure it stays in the vehicle.
I have his phone.
Yeah.
Yep.
Can you guys please just do me a favor? Because you loved bye or
I
like
have-
sexy back.
so I
Like,
have
do
it.
me one favor. Let me ask him if he wants me to give him his phone.
Yeah.
This is insane.
So it's not gonna be a long thing. I'll let you walk over.
Please.
Okay, so my partner here, I don't know the details obviously, I wasn't the one to stop to. My partner here observed you, some kind of traffic violation, started a traffic stop, believed you have impairment, did a series of routine tests on you, right? Field sobriety tests, okay? You performed poorly on those, okay? Based off of his observations, you are intoxicated.
Okay.
So you are under arrest for DWI, okay?
Okay.
Okay, awesome. All we're asking, did you understand what was just read to you?
Yeah, I hear you.
Perfect.
And I'm gonna reread this again. We're gonna go through the rest of it, but at this
No, I
at this
got
point,
you. I got you.
At this point, it asks for initials. If you don't want an initial, you're not required to. You can't be forced to. And I will read the rest of it. Okay? Will you initial or no?
No.
Okay. I'll
No.
read the rest of it for you.
Like,
Now, do you consent or refuse to the chemical test?
no, I'm not doing the chemical test. Like, guys, I don't mean no harm. Like,
I understand. We believe you to be under the influence of alcohol and
okay,
operating in motor vehicle, right?
okay, but I don't mean no harm.
I didn't say you did.
He said okay real quick because he know and they know he is on more than just alcohol. That boy couldn't even tell them what he do on his tour. He say I'm on tour. The officer say on tour. He like what are you doing on tour? It's hard to explain. Boy, you sing and you dance. How hard is that to explain? Everybody knows what you do on tour. The officer didn't know who he was, which is weird. But I guess he wouldn't expect to see Justin out looking like this and actually doing this. You know, because he's Disney, and you know, Justin had that good boy, clean image. but not really, because some of us, Brittany, and more. Okay, I mean, he came from Disney. I just no, just no. He know he got more than that. He said he ain't doing no Kim. I don't blame him.
Right? Everyone makes a mistake or two in their life, right? You had too much to drink, you drove the car, right?
Okay.
It's not that simple. Dude was out of his mind.
I'm not here to judge you. Just we got a job to do.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate your understanding.
By the way, I appreciate that you're doing that.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah. What was the traffic violation I missed?
I observed you.
Just so I know for future reference.
I observed you failing to pull a stop at the stop sign, and then while you're driving, you failed to keep right
For future
on numerous
reference.
occasions. So you were very.
Wait, start over? Sorry.
So
One more time?
you failed to stop at the stop sign, and then while you were operating the motor vehicle, you failed to keep right on your side of the roadway, and you continuously moved off and veered to the left of the roadway.
Okay, well, I was just following my friends.
Okay, yeah, I understand, but we are where we are right now, okay?
You're
Justin,
treating me like I'm a criminal.
I don't want to say that because you're being arrested. So for misdemeanor DWI, I don't have to call people names, Mr. Timberlake, but it's the situation that we're in, unfortunately. Okay, I'm trying my best to treat you like anybody else. Okay. I appreciate your cooperation.
no,
Most
sir.
people, a lot of people don't cooperate like this, so it goes a long way in my book. I appreciate it.
Can I
Damn.
ask you a question?
Yeah, happy to answer anything I can.
Is this the normal process?
Yeah, yes, everything is pretty standard. Nothing out of the ordinary. We do this for everyone that gets arrested for DWI.
This is so
Anything
bad.
specifically about it you are wondering, or just
No. I just wondered, like you really cut people up and like.
Yeah. I mean,
What?
if you're under custody, we have to make sure that people who lock up here don't or leave. You know, you can't just leave. You gotta process you, everything like that. Your safety, our safety, things like that. It's just standard protocol.
Gotcha. I appreciate you boys for doing your job, man.
Yo, I have been driving for eight, 9 hours, and I'm just on my break. So, um, if you watch me, you know I will go to sleep. Okay, I'm gonna sit up in a minute because I'm laid back. Okay, I'm not laying all the way down, but I'm laid back, and I think that's a little too much because I just yawned. I thought I was woke. Yeah, but I think that a lot. Um, so that's pretty much the end of him. Let's see if there's more.
I appreciate that you understand that we gotta do
Yeah, I
everything.
appreciate you boys for doing your job. I had one martini and I followed my fucking friends home.
No,
I appreciate you boys for doing your job.
he can do that because he didn't take the test. Clearly, the judge either didn't look at or just totally disregarded this video, because there's no way you would have reduced his charges just because he's Justin Timberlake. Not that I want to see Justin Timberlake. Come on, we grew up with Justin. Like Justin is like, he's no Michael Jackson, but he's like Usher, Chris Brown. Like this is freaking Justin. You gotta say the Justin. He's just as bad as Britney, right? So who wants to see him like this with charges and shit? But he earned that. He is. I have a feeling he's done this before and will absolutely do it again after this. Why wouldn't he? He just want to know what you caught me doing, so hopefully next time I won't be doing that. I won't be running stop signs and swerving. How? You couldn't even tell the man who you are and what you do. He couldn't even figure out what comes after the number 4. He couldn't even do a heel toe, and he dances better than the freak I do. I can't even dance. Justin gets down. And you tell me he can't do it. Oh, it's very hard. What? Oh, sir. But they let him off. A little community service, a little PSA, no drinking and driving. So sometimes when we see these celebrities and they come on here and they be like, hey, every year Americans, 5 Americans, we know it's more than that, right? But whatever the number is taken by a drunk driver, blah, blah, blah. They doing this because they was out there and got caught. And they're not going to tell us as long as they do these things. I think if it wasn't for the major popularity and the police cams being on these channels and they're getting paid nicely for it, this would have never came out. The lawyers tried to stop it. They eventually conceded. I guess the people say, it's over with. We gave you your deal. Go live your life. But we can get so much money because this has your name on it, buddy. This is the Justin Timberlake. We're putting this video up. Public record. We're putting it up. That's sad. So now, Justin, we know you did that, and we know that you're the type of guy that would do this. Okay, I'm gonna read a couple of comments because I just want to see how the public is doing. Because if y'all over here kissing his butt because he's Justin Timberlake, then I hope that you reconsider that type of mindset, because it doesn't matter if it's your loved one, but it very well could be. Just imagine, someone getting their life completely altered and maybe even taken just because this guy was out of his mind and operating a vehicle. Anytime a cop asks you to get out of your car and do this test, you're cooked. Anyone, no matter the circumstances, will fail this test. I understand it's to keep our roads safe, but geez, the wrong time for this comment. He clearly was zooted out of his mind. He clearly was super intoxicated with something. And I don't think it was just alcohol. I'm sure you mean no harm, Justin. Actually, I don't think any drunk driver plans on harming anyone before it happens. Just like when he was saying earlier, oh, I was just following my friend. We were just about to go home. You were swerving when they stopped you. So just imagine. Are people that stupid? They don't even know what the effing laws are. She says that they're taking him to jail. I can't take him home. I think she was drunk for saying that. And what she said, more of the rich and famous always looking for preferential treatment. I think she was intoxicated too, because why would she be sober? Plus, she was just acting really silly. Secondly, I think that she said that more so because it's the Justin Timberlake. She kept saying that. You gonna take Justin Timberlake to jail? Like, sir, is you okay? You gonna take Justin Timberlake to jail? Must have been a 2-quart martini. I am not doing anything, in quotations, apart from possibly endangering people's lives. Just take responsibility. That woman says, Justin Timberlake is under arrest like he's a god-like figure. These people are not role models. They are delusional and surround themselves with delusional people. And one more comment, guys. It looks like they're on the right track so far. It says, I'm following my friends home to make sure they get back okay, because I think they're hammered too. So he's ad-libbing a little bit. So this one says, you mean to tell me I have to sleep in here? And then he adds, without my silk sheets or my personal sleep masseuse, diabolical. Yeah. I don't think people who watch this video read the description. Most people do not read the description. Yeah. That's a big reason why content creators, pin their comments, and that's usually what they wanted to say in the description, but they know nobody's going to read it, because if people would have read the description, it would reveal itself in these comments, because people would be like, wait a minute, they let him go with a slap on they took away his actual DUI and reduced it to a little non-misdemeanor and gave him a $500 fine, told him to do 25 hours of community service and make a video and say, hey guys, don't drink and drive. That's it. Okay. So moving right along to the next story. So this next situation is, um, you know, one that is very sad. There is a lawsuit that a woman brought about, and this is in Los Angeles because her mother is in a senior living place. Okay. Her mother was in a assisted living facility. I've done care work most of my young adult life, and well, my entire young adult life, really. I mean, I've done other things, but I was in the healthcare field, and originally um, I started going to pharmacy school to become a pharmacist because of assisting patients in senior living, and they don't have but like 3 hours, and outside of those 3 hours, they
This is
have
not a scam.
they have no care because they're pretty much it's senior living. Everybody that's a senior and they're paying good money, but they don't get assistance. They're on their own, and a lot of them they don't even see their families. So when you come there, I mean, they need stuff from the store. They need medication. They need food. They need a bath. They need you to clean something. And it's like you only got 3 hours. It's the worst. Every time you leave, it's the worst because you have to leave. And it's like you didn't touch the surface of what they need. And some of these people can't really get around that well. So it's even worse. So my thought was every one of these should have a pharmacy right down on the bottom floor, and they can order their meds. The doctors put them on 10,000 medications, scamming, getting money. And, if they send me to the pharmacist, by the time I get back, okay, you need groceries too. Oh, you need me to cook you something. You needed a bath. You needed some. I can't do all that. My time is up. And it's like, why are they not having medications accessible here? Why is there not a pharmacy here? So I thought that would be a good thing to start until I was green. I was in my 20s. I didn't know that medication is bad for you like it is, that I'd be a drug dealer and all that. And I was like, I can't do it. So that's when I switched to criminal justice. Okay. But so senior living, they are seniors, and it's all seniors, and it's supposed to be a better environment, it's supposed to be safer, but they're essentially on their own. Okay, nobody's coming to help you unless your family have arranged, paid for, or you have to medicate and they arranged it. Your family arranged that with through Medicaid for you to get someone to come and help you. Other than that, you are absolutely for everything on your own. So there's no extra layers of security, really, although people will like to think so. There isn't. Not even against each other. So here's a story where this blubber, well looking, and I'm going to show him to you, of a guy who was a volunteer piano player. Now, having doing this kind of work, I've worked with all types of patients. I've worked in all type of situations, private hire, this, that, and the third. I've worked in group homes. I've done one-on-one care with all types of patients, right? I've done hospice care. I was a nanny for a number of years. There is no way you should be allowing anyone to enter into this space and they have not had extensive freaking background checks. So a woman was attacked because of a guy who was a volunteer piano player at a senior living place. Now, my guess is he's done this before. It was too well orchestrated. My guess is he has not been really checked out. I think they're too loose about letting people come in because you're not coming in a place where we already don't have extra security. They don't have an aide there looking out for them. They don't have clearly people having eyes on him all the time because you walked up, you went to her apartment, and you came in. Now she has dementia. So again, they don't regulate. They don't have security. They're not going to say you can't have company. And so that's something children who place their parents, I know they have to consider this because your parent having dementia may or may not be with us fully at certain times. And someone can knock at the door. Oh, Agatha, it's your brother, Tom. My brother, Tom? Yeah, it's your brother, Tom. Open up and let me in. I brought some of Grammy's cake. How easy was that? I have a brother, Tom. You know, some people know they have dementia. Oh, I guess I have a brother, Tom. And then if you touch the right points, they're gonna say this is a real core memory. That's my brother. How dare I not let my brother in? You know, I'm just giving an example of just different ways you can get a dementia patient and have them open the door, but they have every right to let people in as if they were normal thinking. So living there, is it really, other than them not living with you, what's the safety for them? None. So this guy was able to come in and walk into her apartment. And when he came into her apartment, thankfully her daughter had Ring cameras in every room. Now, you can tell he didn't know that. He didn't look up at a camera one time. Don't even look like he looked for a camera. So I think that he has not met the daughter, because you gonna know who's overprotective and who's not, right? And so he doesn't know, that she's likely gonna be watching her mom. And he felt like she would be a good target, and maybe the white guy wanted some darkness. He wants some chocolate. Sad to say, I'm just explaining that he is a white and she is a dog. But for some reason, he chose her. He came into her room and he took off his clothes and he had his way with her. And then he was seen naked coming out of the room, free, like he the boyfriend, living whenever you want to boyfriend, like he just comfortable. Took off his condom and put it in her trash can. So he must have really thought she didn't have nobody, because you put it in her trash can and then it hit the trash can. It sounded like somebody took out the trash. It was empty or something, because you heard it. First of all, that was a big load, wasn't it, boy? Well, I'm glad you put it in a condom. But at the end of the day, he did that. And you know what's even worse? She seemed to not recall what happened, at least not at that time. And so that even further makes me think he targeted her. I don't think he watched her, like her living situation, to see who comes to see her. I think he just paid attention to the patients, and he sees the type of dementia they have, the levels they're on, and he sees that for her it comes and goes. And so, maybe he understood enough about her specific, where she's at, to know that 9 times out of 10, she wouldn't even be able to tell nobody. Or he could say it was consensual and she probably agreed. He could get her to agree. Either way, it's a crime. He's wrong. And they didn't want to press charges. Law enforcement didn't want to do anything. Here's the story.
That's the sound of an American oil.
After a commercial.
Want to be a part of it? Listen up.
Hello, my name is...
Okay.
An LA County woman is suing a senior care facility and one of their volunteers for $25 million. She claims her mother was sexually assaulted by a volunteer piano player. Fox 11's Nick Garcia here now. The story you'll see only on Fox 11. Nick?
Right, Christine. Well, this happened. There's shocking video to go along with that, those disturbing details. This allegedly happened at an independent living community in La Mirada. Now, this story is about sexual abuse. It's a very sensitive topic, and it's very tough to hear and watch.
A betrayal of trust and delayed justice. Camille Anderson moved her mom, who has dementia, into La Mirada Heights senior living community 4 years ago, believing it would be a safe space. That belief torn to shreds last summer when prosecutors say Jonathan Alvarado raped her mother. Alvarado was a volunteer piano player at La Mirada Heights. The whole nightmare caught on camera.
I just screamed.
Anderson set up Ring cameras throughout her mom's apartment because of her dementia-related symptoms. Here is some of that shocking footage. You see Alvarado in the victim's bedroom, taking his clothes off. An hour later, you see him here, emerging from the bedroom, naked. Alvarado throws a condom in the trash can, then gets dressed. Anderson was at work when this happened.
Okay, I was wrong about the trash can. Clearly, there's a bag in there, and the sound was the lid dropping. Just want to acknowledge that, but what does it matter? See, earlier I was just listening to this. Now I'm actually looking at the footage, and this is just terrible. But you know what? I have to commend his daughter. First of all, let's be clear. When the facility, they said she thought it would be safe. Maybe because they're all seniors, but at the end of the day, she knew she had cameras in there for a reason. Of course, you're not going to trust anybody with to have love and care and patience with your family. No, but I think because they're all seniors that, she thought that. However, they tell you these residents are residents on their own. There's no extra layer of anything or anybody. There's no Chuck Norris, may he rest in peace, that is going to come and kick nobody's butt who tries to bother them. That alone would be an issue for me. If we going to spend money, we gonna spend money, or they're going to have to be with me. Because other than but the false assumption that because all of us are old people, who's going to come bother us? You should never. That's the perfect target. People who volunteer at places like this, they know exactly where they're at. They know the place. They know nobody is good. It's the perfect opportunity. They know the staff is not going to think twice about seeing them there. If they're friendly with any of the residents and they go to their rooms, the staff is going to think that you're just being a good person spending time with them. They're not going to stop you. They're not going to say, hey, what are you doing? No, because you're the guy who volunteers to play the piano. You make them smile and laugh. They're not going to say, why are you going to her room? Why are you in her room? You can't go in there. You should suck her out here. No. They're going to mind their business. How is that safe? How's that safe? She has dementia. Half the time, she won't recognize who she is, who anybody is. She won't know. She could be a little girl in that moment. She's not going to be able to take care of herself, secure herself. None of that. And he knew this. This is the perfect place for people to find their victims. Whether they're coming to take food, money, anything. In this case, he came to take something that cannot be replaced. Jeez. But she had cameras up. That's a good thing. She hid them for good paper. Because she's not playing with them. That's a good thing. That sizable suit, which probably will get negotiated down and ate up by lawyers and whatever fines, taxes or whatever, and this finally getting on the news because she had to fight for that, should be enough to make these facilities, it's going to jack up the price, but change their safety policies. I'm sure they're getting money from the government in some kind of way. There should be some regulations, just like they put regulations on us instructor officers. They put regulations on a lot of stuff. Why could there be regulations? Why we can't take care of our seniors? Because if they are there, part of the reason why the family want them to be there where other people like them is so that they can be in a safer environment. Residents have been known to do this to each other. You know, not I'm saying here specifically. I'm talking about all over, even at rest homes and stuff. There's just not enough protection for this is insane. And then you're gonna have volunteers on top of that. Why would you have a volunteer at a place that has zero security, but you got patients that be in and out of their own actual consciousness? It's just money. You just get money. I just can't even believe it. However, shout out again to the daughter for not only one, she had cameras in every room. For two, she checked the movements regularly. Instead of doing it at home at the end of the day, instead of doing it at the end of the week, you know, mom has dementia. She's going to move about all the time. But I think that part of her wanted to know, okay, is mom being unsafe today? Does she have a knife? What is she doing? Does this look weird? You know, because you got to say, hey, mom, on the intercom, put that down. No, you can't do that. You're going to hurt. Hey, get down from there, or something like that. So she's watching her mom. She saw a lot of notifications, and then she saw this guy. And the camera is also in the bedroom, as it should be. She saw what happened.
But started receiving several motion-triggered notifications from Ring.
When I had a chance to go back to my office and check my phone, I see on the notification picture that there was a man in the room bending down, tying his shoes.
She called the facility and says 2 workers entered the room to check on her mother.
Are you naked, Mama?
Notice her confusion as they ask questions.
Are you okay? Everything okay? Yeah? Who's the guy who was here? Think about it, Mama, and slow, so you can tell me.
Do you know what happened? She's like, no. Okay, did you want to have sex, Mom? No.
Alvarado is facing felony charges, 1 count for rape, 1 for a lewd act on a dependent adult.
We're kind of following the advice of the detective.
Anderson says the LA County District Attorney's Office has been slow to prosecute this case. She and her lawyer question why the DA has not announced it publicly, because they believe there could be more victims.
You expect a certain level of security and protection, and that does not appear to have been the...
She got a line. Okay, first of all, she got a little change. That's good for the mom, right? So she can actually advocate for her. You know, and have the cameras there, you know. Them saying that they believe there will be more victims, to me is a falsehood as to why they have not posted anything. They're protecting the facility, which probably is, you know, the money is exchanging hands here, very common. Because later on, you're going to hear them say, the DA, they have no record of any other victims. Okay, now further questioning asks, have you investigated to see if there are any other victims? Now, unless other patients have cameras in their rooms and they family members have found anything, then how are they going to really know? Are they going to really know? And I'm sure he goes to other places too. Yeah. He was, it was meant for him to be that dumb on this day. You know, but I can't believe this woman had to sit here and watch a guy trick her mom. And yes, he R-worded her. That's what it was. But if she didn't have those cameras, it would be doomsday for this. Or if the camera was only in the living room, you know, because the cameras, and it's picking up audio too, they're gonna be able to hear and see everything that he did, so that he can prove that this was RAPE. You know what kind of sick-minded person you have to be. But they are doing this to the elderly. They do this to people in comas. There was a woman who was impregnated, you know. Beyond sick.
Case for my client.
We went to La Mirada Heights looking for answers. The manager on site could not speak with us on camera, but we did receive this statement saying in part, Quote, "We are disturbed by these allegations and will fully cooperate with any criminal investigation. Because this matter involves an ongoing criminal case and out of respect for the privacy of our resident, it is not appropriate to comment further." End quote.
Justice looks like in this case that the facility will be held responsible and liable for their negligence in this case and their continued negligence from what we understand.
Anderson has filed a $25 million lawsuit against the company and the suspect, claiming negligence, sexual abuse, and elder abuse.
They helped him. They helped him do it, essentially. They opened the door for this to happen.
An open door to a person she feels should have never been trusted in the first place.
Look at how he creeping through there. This is insane. The way his... It's like he tiptoeing through there. So he don't even care if he started. What if she would have screamed bloody murder when she saw him? I wish she had a... He picked his target. Because to think that she would not scream seeing you. I know she knows you. You've buttered it up real good playing that piano. And look, you got a hole in his sock. But you don't have on clothes. She didn't expect you there. What how good is he to not know that she will scream? So he had to he had to work up to this. Maybe he'd been there before. I don't know. But imagine the other residents, the other family that sees this and they don't have cameras in the house. She said they opened the door. They did. They had him there volunteering. I guess that's the entertainment you had on there is why you charge an extra $5,000 a month, because you provide entertainment. He's a volunteer. He's not even paid. Why would you have volunteers? 9 times out of 10, they don't do really good checks on volunteers. When you could just pay somebody. So it could be a job. You can do a check on them. If you know that you're not providing security, why would you just let any and everybody be in here like that? I don't care how many years they've been doing it. That's not the point. This is so freaking disturbing that somebody would be sick in their head and take their time out to do this. So you can't get a girl. And we know that that's not all of what it is in these people's minds, because then you could say, oh, so-and-so can get any girl he want. Well, it's deeper than that. Just because you can or can't, that doesn't determine this. This is a whole nother type of sickness. Oh my God.
Now this afternoon I've received a response from the LA County District Attorney's Office. It follows. The case was presented to us as an in-custody filing, and it was rejected for further investigation, filed for warrant on July 29th, 2025. Now, approximately 6 weeks after the DA says it was initially presented, the defendant was brought before a court in January of this year. They've had one preliminary hearing so far. The LA County Sheriff's Department conducted the investigation in this matter and didn't bring any additional victims. The defendant was brought for I've received us.
Because he didn't read all of it, did he? Okay, so it says, this is from the LA County District Attorney's Office. The case was presented to us as an in-custody filing. It was rejected for further investigation, filed for a warrant on July 29, 2025. Okay, so they had to push for them to do something, basically, because first it was rejected for further investigation. First of all, rejected and further investigation don't go together. You ain't investigate nothing. She got cameras that show from the time he walked in everything, and you can hear everything. It's not that difficult to determine what happened. It said approximately 6 weeks after it was initially presented. The defendant was brought before a court in January of this year. We have one preliminary hearing. Oh, he did pretty much read it. The Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department conducted the investigation in this matter and did not bring any additional victims to our attention. They didn't make this an important matter because there's no way there's not other victims. There's no way. Even if it's not here, I would follow this guy to everywhere he goes. I would go behind him and check every facility. And also let them know, this guy, don't let him back here. Because they did not make this public, so nobody knew anything about this except for parties involved. So I can guarantee they're not informing the residents and their families. The lawyer said continued neglect. So there's going to be more to this case that will be revealed and found out. They're not even trying. Because first of all, it's like Krishan Rock taking her son to the doctor. She doesn't want to bear the responsibility. She doesn't want to face what has happened as a result of her. Somebody said, why is Alvarado using a condom? The 87-year-old lady won't get pregnant and is highly unlikely to have a venereal disease. Okay, that shows a lot of ignorance. We can't assume he used it to prevent his DNA because the idiot was all over the house. He was in the bed. He was everywhere. He got naked. He even threw his own DNA in the trash in our house. He couldn't even put it in a Ziploc bag, some paper towels, okay, and put it in his pocket and take it with him. He was that comfortable. He was that sure that there's no way he didn't do this before. If not, did it before, there, or anywhere. He, at minimum, really targeted this lady. Because you got to feel so comfortable being in there like that. I think the tiptoe was just about his initial presentation to her in that manner. But he had to single her out real bad. You threw your condom in her trash. And let's be real. The elderly do have issues. Okay. Without going over a lot, medical is not exactly what doctors tell you. Okay. Just like herpes is something that most people have a form of it dormant. Almost all people have the capability of incurring a herpes outbreak without having it the way that you're taught, you know, by the actual open source contact of someone who has it. You can have an outbreak occur, be triggered by your health, okay, by the acidity level of your pH, by, you know, stress, by a lot of things. That's why sometimes people break out in cold sores. That's a form of herpes. Okay, so these things are not what they tell us they are. They are a formulation of mainly the way we eat and drink. Okay, the stress. Okay, a lot of things can happen and are dormant and controlled by us taking care of ourselves. And most of the time it's candida and freaking parasites. And you know, before they would tell you you're cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs if you even mention a parasite. And now you can't get away from parasite commercials left and right for this, that, and the third that they're telling you will help you get rid of it. But without knowing the procedures, you know what you're doing, you can't get that alien who is literally a leech attached to you in the worst way out of your body by just taking their stuff and thinking that that's gonna work like that. No, it's, you got to go to war. But 9 times out of 10, that is the main cause of what you're dealing with. And they tell you it's every damn thing else, including cancer, HIV, all of it, baby. Okay. But the elderly, surprisingly, even without having sex, so that's a prelude into just stress, not being able to move about properly, eat properly, being cleansed properly, taken care of properly, shit like that. So yeah, but why he's wearing one? Probably for A1. That, probably not wanting to possibly catch anything. He's probably also thinking, I'm not the only one who probably doing this, and so probably didn't use one, and who knows what they left behind. He could. I don't think he's thinking about that, but I don't think he wanted to leave his stuff inside of her either. I think he probably felt like, what if she does try to say something, them finding it, which doesn't make sense to him throwing his thing away, but maybe she remember a month from now that he's playing the piano and she's like, oh, wait a minute, and then he's like, what? She's tripping. I mean, the trash been took out by then. Nobody saw it, so I don't know. He didn't know about the cameras, so I mean, I don't know. Somebody said, how do we know if it's consensual or not? This is not unexpected for people to be like this. They already pretty much said she doesn't remember. I don't know if y'all remember B. Smith. I bring her up any chance I feel like I got to bring her up, because she is a very, very important woman in our history that don't get talked about enough. B. Smith was the original, what's the white lady name that Snoop be dealing with? I can see her face, but I can't even think of her name. But the one who went to prison, and she now does stuff with Snoop. But B. Smith was her originally. They molded her after B. Smith and taught her how to be like that. So because they saw it was an empire. B. Smith was a millionaire. B. Smith was around for a long time. You can look her up, check her out. I may do some shows on her again. But she was Martha Stewart. Yeah, she was the original. She was the original. She was the blueprint. Absolutely 100%. And she created quite the empire for herself, and she did not have any children, but she had a husband, and they were together for a long time. He had a daughter from previous marriage, and she had dementia. So he's in order to put your family away, they can't have nothing, no money, nothing in their name. Everything will go to the place. That's how that shit go. So he said, she'll stay here, I'll take care of her. Did he hire people to do so with all that money? No, he didn't. You know what he did? Eventually, he got involved with a white girl, and he moved. Well, she was an older woman like him, but he moved her in, and they collectively was taking care of B. Smith. B. Smith had long dreadlocks, and they didn't know how to, they said, but or want to maintain them. She's had them ever since I've ever seen her, since I was a little girl, from up until they cut it. So then she was short, bald head. They didn't even dress her like she used to do. This was my B. Smith, okay? But people were outraged, but as they should be. Him, her, his girlfriend, living there in B. Smith's house, and the daughter was grown and out, but she would come sometimes and they help take care of B. Smith. And people would say, I can't believe she's looking like this. She would never. She always, looked great. And your girlfriend living there in her house off her money while she's alive, and then on top of that, y'all supposed to be taking care of her. And so they had to start speaking, giving answers. And they started doing interviews. They even did a little documentary, let people come in the house with cameras and everything. It was hard to watch. It was hard to watch, you know. Um, he admit, that because it was soon as she made the announcement she had dementia, I could have swore it was like a year later. That's what that situation was, if it was that long. So I had to cool my device down. I keep forgetting how it just heats up so quickly when I'm doing this. I guess I have to, you know, talk about some other stuff. And then it'll let me rock out. But I'm trying to get reconnected here. So let me turn this off because it's loud. I had to turn the AC on. It ain't warmed up out here yet, did it? Oh, yes, it did. The sun is out now. It was only like 59 when I first pulled up. To me, that is cold. And there was no sun out. The sun is out now. Oh, it says sunny 51. But then again, it's not connected. So let me get connected. I'm going to see how they Wi-Fi work. But I got to log into my rewards account in order to get started. Let's see. Let me try this again. So yeah, like I was saying about B. Smith, yeah, something ain't right. Sometimes, she remember who she was, and he would say, that yes, that's very difficult, but at the end of the day, he's not gonna, not live his life and everything just because this happened to her. And she didn't live that much longer after that, which makes sense, unfortunately. It's a sad thing. Let me see. Sometimes, I try to sign into stuff and it'd be like, oh, your password or something is wrong. And it don't be. And one thing that does it is this website for this truck stop. And I find that so suspicious because I know you're gonna go through all this. I know my information, and then when I do change it, then I gotta change it where I'm already logged in at because it was what it was in the first place. And I got with my, what my email log be for something. So it just is weird when it does that. So now it's trying to say it doesn't match.